field that I absolutely love, being in vision, but I didn't like being in the class. So I got back out of the teaching area, went back to being a program director for folks with developmental disabilities at a residential facility in Peoria, and I'm keeping up my private practice of doing vision stimulation activities, developmental activities with babies. So I'm sitting in Peoria, and I hope 5 years from now I will be in Peoria and doing the same exact thing. Last year, Sam and I competed for who had changed the most. I felt bad till I heard Sam last year, and I went, oh, thank you. So that was that.
Very good. Polo. Okay. Donna Pellegrini, Oberto. And I want to tell all of you how happy I am to be back here with all of you, and to thank all of you for your letters and calls and concern, and I'll let you know I'm feeling fine. Yes. And now I'm busy taking care of John. This is my husband, John, and he had a hip replaced on the 23rd of March on the right side, but he hasn't been able to let go of his cane yet because his left hip is bad. So he's on the schedule for August 24th for his left hip to be replaced. And he really enjoyed being here with us last time, and he came back. Things just keep getting more and more exciting at our house, taking care of John. And we have 3 daughters who are all 21 years old and all in college. Like on my video last time, I told you that we adopted twins in 1973, and 7 months later, a baby girl was born. So this is how we have them all in college and all 21 years old at the same time. So 2 of the 3 are planning on being teachers. Janine is studying elementary education. She changed her major 3 times. That's why it's going to take her 5 years to get through school, but she's finally decided on elementary education, so that's okay. She called and she says, do you care if I change my major? And what can I say? It's her to change. So Jody is studying accounting. She's the other twin. And Jennifer is also going to go into teaching with a major in math and music. Jennifer is plays the trumpet, and she's 21 years old, and we think she's very good. Last night she had an opportunity to play at the Belleville National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows. She played along with a quartet that they had hired, but our choir director took her along because she thought that she could do it, and that it would be a good experience for her. So we were proud to be in that audience and attend that dance and have our daughter down there playing the trumpet. And as far as reunions are concerned, I thrive on them. I thrive on the reunions, and I had an opportunity in July 9th and July 16th, and those 2 reunions covered the whole 9 years that I taught. And I came home just feeling like royalty. I mean, I was up on such a high, being able to visit with these former students and meet their husbands and whatever. I've been to reunions before, but I mean, this covered the whole 9 years, and it was really a good experience for me. I just loved it, thrived on it, just like I'm thriving on being here. Yeah, just thriving on having kids. This was 1963 through 72. And this was my house, and the people in my house were just really, I was just like family to them when I taught over there. And it's always a pleasure to go back to my house. That's all. Yeah, what of it? Go ahead.
No, I did the videotape. And I did get up and I did say a few things, but it was rather brief.
Yes.
And then when I was editing the tape, I made it a little bit briefer.
Notice that.
And to tell you how much it was noticed, Liv sent her tape back to me because she thought I had cut it off, you know, and look, she'd missed part of it. Okay.
So you're going to say,
Well, I thought that was quite a bit for me right now.
I would like to just bring, I guess, hellos from Janet Freeze. She was here last year, and she certainly planned on being here this year, but due to scheduling of painting of a house, it did not work out. She decided to retire the last day that their faculty had to make that choice before the retirement announcements went out. And so she has officially retired, and she now is among many of you and will be relaxed.
She's now among the living.
Yes, and we'll be playing cards, nice, and quiet. So I told her I would do that. Thank you. She hopes to be here the next time.
Yeah, and Roseanne Milinovich, she also had planned to be here, but her sister had surgery, so she had to be there. But she took the early retirement also. But on the day she retired, she ended up in the hospital. But now she's on the mend and she's doing well. And we went camping up in Door County, and she's really she's gonna have any trouble. So she has her son's 19. She lives with her husband in Bullwinkle.
And Jan Booker was going to be here as well and had scheduled to come along with a wedding that she was going to attend in Chicago. However, due to a foot operation and the doctor not releasing her, she had to cancel out on everything, and she was very disappointed. And to close with, Judy and I need to go over by Tony. Okay? Come on. Uh-oh. Oh, I think I'm leaving.
Where's the door?
We had a mystery while we were camping. We couldn't figure out some old words, some old songs. So we finally figured it out this morning.
Yes,
We were a little under there.
I'll be glad to. I don't sing it all, but I'll be glad to. It keeps on.
Morning,
Mr. Zip, 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 my, you're looking mighty fine. Good morning, Mr. Zip, 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 my, you're looking mighty fine. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. If the bell doesn't wake you, then the counselor must. Good morning, Mr. Zip, Zip, Zip. My, you're looking mighty, my, you're looking mighty, my, you're looking mighty fine. All right.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. This was really great. And please do plan in 5 years. We'll do it again. If you hear of anyone that's not on the list, let us know. If you change your address, let us know.
Yes.
Remember, Connie Callahan, she just took a new job in Oregon.
Right.
She wasn't able to be here.
Yeah.
You have an address on there?
Yes,
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay.
I'll
No,
pay my
Betty
dollar.
Esmond
Ethel Guest, Linda Powell, Betty Esmond Price, you need those people.
And that is Judy Orendorf Rodden, who most graciously opened up her campground to us. And this is where we did our camping and hope to do our camping in 5 years. And we just had a wonderful time with her. And she basically was with the EIU group during the summers. She did most of her work. So some of you, I know Tony knew her real well, and Sam, you remember her, and Jan remembers her. But she's really neat, and she was a lot of fun. And so when we come back in 5 years, if she still has the campground, I think this is where we'd like to return and do our camp out.
Yeah, she has a lovely family.
And we'd like
Yeah,
to say
so-
thank you to Judy.
Yes.
Okay, ready?
Judy.
Thank you, Judy. All right.
His roommate, Myra, in 1965, and taught 1 year in Long Beach at a junior high. The kids in the city are much different than the kids in the small towns. Of course, times have changed, but and now I've taught. This will be my 27th year at Downey Middle School. So I hope I don't teach long enough to get grandchildren of ex-students, but I might. I have one son, Steve, and a granddaughter, Kristen, who's my pride joy. And I have coached everything. And I still like kids. I have mostly 6th graders now, and they're very enthusiastic. But I get a fresh start each fall, so it's fun. And the weather in California is hard to beat. We get to play outside most of the time. Doesn't get too cold. Only when it rains, which is not too often. We have to go inside.
Or tell them about your traveling.
Oh yes, I will. And I still play volleyball also with friends. We play power, like I said, and it's not like we did in college. It's a lot more fun. I played softball 25 years. So, and volleyball, mostly co-ed now. I prefer playing because and they're mostly fun. Well, I push them out of the way if they get in my way. They don't get in my way. And I love to travel. I have been to Europe 3 times, and I have some traveling buddies. I'm not really that brave myself, but I go along with them. And I've been to Greece, Mediterranean, Alaska. I've been in all states but North Dakota. When I retire, some of you are younger than me and already retired, but in California, 60 is the magic age for the maximum retirement. Taught this long, might as well get the maximum. I taught some English too, but I'd rather, it's physically exhausting. I have students 45 to 60 in 5 classes, and it's very physically exhausting, but it's better than trying to make kids do their homework. They're rather lazy. So I'd rather be outside in the hot sun than worry about their homework.
Yeah.
I'm Jan Hughes, Madison now, graduated in August of '62. Taught for 2 years in Villa Grove, Illinois, and then a year in Oak Park, started a family. A boy, 29, he and his wife are pastors, and they live in Fremont, California. And I have a little granddaughter who's 2, and another one on the way. And then my daughter and her husband are teachers over in Whitehall, Illinois. And my youngest son is 23, and he and his wife are up in the Joliet area. She's going to school, and he's working at Statesville. And 7 years ago, I lost my husband, and I decided to go back to school. And I thought, I really don't want to go back to the gym. I substituted for 6 months, and found out that at 24, being in the gym wasn't too bad. But at 47, it was a different story, especially when you take off 21 years. And so I decided that I really felt I was being called to work in the church. And so I went back and got a master's degree in Christian education at Garrett Theological Seminary in Evanston, and finished up in '90 and moved to Bridgewater, Virginia, where I'm the director of Christian education and coordinator of volunteer ministry. And so I'm still working with kids. It's a little different way than I've always done it. But we were kind of talking about some of the things we used to do and how we have a lot of different experiences from Easter that have carried over into our adult years. And I said we were all kind of jack of all trades, and it really fits into what I'm doing now. So, but really enjoy the work, and if you ever get down to that area, stop and see me. It's a beautiful part of the country.
Okay, DJ Prismatic Williams. First of all, I really want to thank Tony and Chevy and everybody else who put this together again for those of us who couldn't make it last year. I didn't know about it last year because I've traveled around a little bit, and I guess they lost track of me, but it's really good to see all of you again. I can't believe it's been 30, 31 years. And I started thinking the other night, I was telling Sharon, I said, you know, I think maybe I'll write a 12-step program on how to get through Easter in 4 years, because not too many of you did it. But anyway, I graduated in
November of '63, taught in my hometown for half a year. And then I had a cousin who wanted to move to California, so I did that with her. And so we moved to California in summer of '64. And I got married in '66, December of '66, so we're going on 28 years of marriage. I have 2 children, both in college, both in their 20s, trying to get through school, trying to decide what they want to do when they grow up. We lived in California for 14 years, and we moved to Idaho for 10 years, which was a great place to raise our kids for 10 years. Then we moved back down to Long Beach because I missed it. I really missed Long Beach. And my daughter wanted to go back and go to school there. So their intentions were she was going to go back to Long Beach and go to school. Then we decided that we might join her. So we joined her, and all of us ended up in Long Beach again. I'm teaching at Paramount High School, which I taught at in the 60s. So it's kind of like almost a full circle. And I love it. I just love teaching. We have a lot of gang members, but I guess you kind of feel like you're doing something. You know, we've got rough kids, and I think you can attest to this. We've got rough kids, and we're not very far apart with our school districts. But you know, with some of our kids, the best place for them, the best part of their day is being in school, because they don't have really home life. But anyway, I enjoy teaching. I coach basketball and softball, and other than that, I'm just really enjoying life, and it's great to be here. Oh, when I was in Idaho, I was out of teaching for almost 20 years, and when I was in Idaho, I was in real estate for 10 years, and I don't suggest that to anyone. And it was hard work. I did that 7 days a week, just to put food on the table. And my husband did for 8 years, and then he got a teaching job up there, but I never pursued a teaching job. But and I did. Oh, and do any of you remember Glenna Fitzhenry?
Yes.
Glenna Fitzhenry is my boss at Paramount. When I left Paramount to go to another school, I called Glenna here in Illinois because she had been visiting me, and I said, Glenna, I'm going to another school, but this is a great job here at Paramount. She got the job, and she's still there, and then she hired me back in '88 when we moved back here. So and she's doing well. Glenna's doing very well. She'll probably retire in a few years. She met her husband there, and he's our athletic director, so I try to con him into a few things, so we kind of have an inside with the AD.
Ricky, start with the president. Start with what happened Wednesday.
It's really great being here. I almost walked through that big door on Wednesday. I got stung by 20 bees and went into anaphylactic shock and died before I got to the hospital in the ambulance. And anyway, that's the reason I didn't make Lynette and I didn't make the thing last night. I was going to ride down with her. And anyway, somebody was watching over me. So I recently retired.
Like your name, you didn't say your name.
Oh, my name's Linda Rickman. And I graduated in 64.
Keep going, Tony.
Help me out, Tony.
You know her better than she knows herself. Yes, but she's in all these drugs.
Now, I'm a druggie right now. Not normally, right. But anyway, I got a job over at Farmer City right after I left Eastern, and I stayed there 30 years. And it went through 3 name changes while I was there, but overall it was just an excellent community. And whenever I would get an opportunity to change jobs, something happened that always, the community, if some disaster or anything happened, they were there for everybody, and it's just a wonderful feeling. And so I would stay when I had an opportunity, and then pretty soon I got too many years in, and opportunities really didn't knock very often. So I have coached just about everything over there, and this last year all I coached was junior varsity basketball, and then I had the girls AD work. And I really wanted to take 5 plus 5 because I want to do something outdoors. And anyway, that's what I was doing. I'm lost. I don't think I'm thinking too clearly. Golly. Help me out, Lynette.
Did you retire?
I did retire. I was there 30 years in the high school, all those years, and my classes had gotten up, were coming back up into the 50s, and I was the only one with them. And they tied our hands on discipline in our school and in our state. And it is making kids, there's a lot of difference, but right after I retired, I got a job for ICI, which is a seed corn company, doing some research work in plots, and I just finished up that job this past Saturday. And then my brother was helping me clear some land. I have 12 acres where I built a home at Oakwood, and we were clearing some land, and that's when he made the bees mad, and I was dragging a pole, and I stepped in. And so, anyway, it's been good. I am not married, but I do have 5 children. Of course, they all have tails. I have 3 girls and 2 boys. And if you ever get over towards Oakwood, my place is a little bit of heaven. It's just wonderful, and it's some people don't like to go home, and I love my home. And anyway, I've done a lot of different things, but it's just great seeing it. Eastern was a struggle for me. I had to come back and come up, and it's been a good life. And I really am glad to be here, and I think you're all just great.
Yay.
Well, I'm Pat Trout. I graduated in May of 1964, and she really does have a little bit of heaven where she lives. I spent a lot of time at her place. We like to do lots of things together, fishing, mushroom hunting. Only last year the mushrooms were so bad we got into rock hounding, so now we're collecting rocks. But I did graduate in '64, and my first job was in the summer right after I graduated. I taught at Lawrenceville High School, and I taught math in summer school. And then I taught PE during the year and continued that for a couple of years. And after 3 years at Lawrenceville, I went to the U of I to get my master's degree, only I didn't get it finished. And so I was debating about what to do, and got a job at Unity High School in Tolono teaching math so that I could stay close to the U of I to finish my master's. But before I taught at Unity, one of the guys who was a coach at Lawrenceville had gotten on at Parkland College in Champaign, and he knew there was an opening in PE, so he called me, and I applied for that job without being out of my other job. And got on at Parkland, and Unity let me out of my contract, and I've been at Parkland ever since. I started at Parkland as a PE teacher. We didn't have a sports program at the time. I was never so bored in all my life. I had been teaching a full-day high school. I went to a community college, and we were on temporary facilities, which meant we were in a National Guard armory way away from everybody else, and I saw kids about 2 or 3 hours a day, and the rest of the time I was sitting there in my office. That quickly changed, though. Then I did start the women's program there, and I coached all the sports at Parkland for women. Burned out real fast. I was coaching, I was teaching full-time, I was officiating full-time, and I was playing full-time. So I got tired and got out of coaching, but continued teaching PE at Parkland until 1984. And in '84, we were pretty well overstaffed in PE because the PE requirement had been dropped of community college students, and so we were overstaffed, and it was either let people go or somebody switch. And I came up in a department meeting one day, and I just said, well, I had a major in math in college, and in about a half hour, I was hired into the math department at Parkland. And come to find out later, they really wanted a full-time basketball coach who needed to have some other another job in addition to coaching. And I'm not bitter about it because I'm very happy. I've taught math ever since. And I really do enjoy it, but it is a lot more work for me than teaching PE. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean I really have to spend a lot of time on papers and new texts all the time. So you redo your lesson plans. You're always having to update tests, and I grade the homework every night. So it's quite different, and I'm definitely ready for retirement. I feel I've been discriminated against because I'm on the community college level, and I didn't get a 5+5 chance. But if I would have had the opportunity, I probably couldn't have taken it anyway, because I have a place at Lake Sarah in Effingham, and it started out as a very wet cabin when I first bought it. Co-bought it with a friend in 1969. $4,000, this wet basement stuck in the side of a hill, a beautiful lot. And then we didn't have any water there, so you had to haul water. And then in '76 they brought water around our side of the lake, so we built up and had a house. We still called it the cabin. And then decided that's where I wanted to retire, so last winter we had it totally gutted and redone. And it's a beautiful home now, and ready for retirement, but it costs. So I have to work 5 more years to pay for the cabin, and then I can really retire to the cabin, and that's what I intend to do. But I'm not much for reunions, so I'm very shy. I've never been back to a high school reunion, and I just avoid things like that, but we really did plan on coming and wanted to come down and camp, and she had put the stops on that. She really wanted to come. And I was kind of glad she decided not to, because I was in the cabin with her, and if she'd have had another reaction, I didn't really want to be responsible. So I think we probably made the right choice of coming down today. But we're real glad that we came, and it's great seeing you. And I plan to be here in 5 years.
Yay! Yeah.
Well, let's see. I'm Donna Phillips, and I graduated with Lynette in May of 1964. And a few of you I see periodically. I also feel discriminated against by Lynette. They didn't give the 5+5 to the 4-year colleges either. In fact, I think we must have gone the other way. When I graduated from Eastern, I taught for 2 years at Manitou High School, close to Peoria, Pekin area. And while I was there, as a beginning teacher, like all of you, I'm sure, besides everything else that they assigned you to do, there were a few little things that weren't written in your contract, like GAA at that time, one of my favorites, lunchroom duty, patrolling the bathrooms for people smoking. Let's see, what else is in there? Cheerleaders, the drill team, and junior class sponsor.
Study hall.
Study hall. I volunteered to do noon hour recreation instead of study hall. I thought that was probably better for me and the students. So after a couple of years, an opportunity came for me to go back to get my master's degree, and I did intend to go back probably to the high school. But I got my master's degree at Western in physical education, and there was a position that they hired me for, and I was going to stay at Western for about 3-4 years, get some collegiate teaching experience, and then move on. And things kept happening, and I really enjoyed being there, and I enjoyed the students and the faculty. And my teaching schedule kept getting a little better. For those of you, if you remember that course that Elliot taught, that body mechanics thing. My nutrition, I have to share this with you because after I had Elliot's class, I still wasn't sure what body mechanics was. So my first teaching assignment at Western was for 2 body mechanics courses. And I looked at the chair at that time and said, "You are kidding. Are you? I mean, this can't be true." Oh, no. Everybody who's, been an undergraduate graduating from an Illinois public university has had body mechanics, which I had, but. So I taught it, and I still am not sure what body mechanics is. But I think the students and I suffered along together, but I didn't have to teach it again, so I must not have done so good a job. While I was at Western on the faculty, I had the opportunity for 13 years to coach the badminton team. So I got to see and visit Charleston very often. We, being in the same state, competed against each other a lot. But I got to see Marie Staves for most of those years while she was still teaching and coaching here. She then retired from coaching, and Bob Hussey, any of you know Bob, started coaching Eastern's team. So I got a chance to know Bob a little better. And then I knew it was time to quit coaching when Bob's son, Kevin, was coaching. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. But it was great to be able to come back. We would come back with my team, I guess, at least once a year, sometimes twice. And it was just kind of a nice experience to go back into the McAfee Gymnasium again and just be there. I didn't like being locked in there all day, if you remember badminton tournaments.
Yeah.
But it was kind of neat to be back. I had a chance to walk around the campus and watch it grow since we left here. Since finishing my coaching career, last July took over as chair of the department. Most of the days it's wonderful. There are some days I question my sanity. We have a staff of 26 faculty. We have 320 undergraduate majors and 125 full-time graduate students. So it's a fairly large department. If you get near Macomb, please come by and see me. I'd love to see you. But it's a great place to work. I'm still active playing in tennis and badminton and doing some running. But my number one love now is to come down and skiing. So in Idaho.
It's great in Idaho.
I know. I try to go at least twice a year out west where there's real snow. You know, not in the Midwest where it's ice. But like everyone else, I'm really glad to be here. And thank all of you and Tony for getting us organized and being here. And I'm looking forward to 5 years.
There are no words to express my joy at being here at Lucas Mission.